Your Majesty, let me give you a status update on the prison. We've accounted for all prisoners. All living inmates are secure, and final casualty tolls are being tabulated as we speak. The perimeter has been inspected, with security breaches identified and repaired. Patrols have returned to normal, with guard shifts rotating every 6 hours. We're all sleeping easier since you ran down those thugs, and the cemetery's quiet. And so now, I don't know. Your Majesty, I've performed all my duties. Now's the time when I'd normally await further orders, but I'm not likely to get any with Commander Milton no longer, in command. He had a set of books which covered different aspects of the penal system. They'd be awfully useful, but they disappeared during the riot. Think you could keep an eye out for them? Thank you, Your Majesty. I knew I could rely on you. This set of keys should give you access to all areas of the island. And my house. I'm gonna need those back, if it's all the same to you.
It seems Lieutenant Hadley is in need of some assistance, and perhaps he knows how to select the next warden.
Penologist's Handbook, Volume 1. Prison Security. Security is the primary responsibility of the commanding officer assigned to any correctional facility. It is of such paramount importance that it must supersede all other priorities. The only conceivable exception to this inviolable rule is in cases where a member of prison staff is in mortal peril. For example, if prisoners in the course of an escape
Turner's
attempt
papers
have
were
taken a staff
removed
member
from this
hostage.
room, but you may
In
still
such a
be able
case,
to find them
it is entirely
somewhere on the
permissible to
island.
temporarily reduce security, as in response to a hostage-taker's express demand, with full intention of restoring full security as soon as possible. Only once security is restored should the commanding officer attempt to neutralize or recapture the inmate or inmates responsible for the lapse. The only exception to this rule is, again, a case where a staff member's life is threatened. Basically, any time they threaten a member of staff, give them what they want, and then try to fix things later as best you can.
I've had my fill of revolutions, coups, and rebellions. Can't people just...
I'm gonna get so fat!
The Albion Secret Prison Gazette, issue number 16. Big news! As a cost-saving measure, instead of receiving hot gruel every other day, prisoners will now have it every 3 days, with cold gruel the remaining 2 days. People pages. Edith's cousin, back in Brightwall, is pregnant with her first baby. At least she might be. Edith had a dream about it. Comings and goings. Loads of new prisoners have been brought in, and some
There's
that
a rat
were
in my
already
cell,
here
and he
died.
says I have to pay
Answer
rent.
to last week's word scramble puzzle? Despair. Right, congratulations to Nick, who was the first one to get it correct.
Hello, ma'am.
Think I could get my food cooked today? Why? Why did it have to happen this
My
way?
dearest Lilith, this will be the first of many letters, I promise you. Writing to you shall be the one bit of solace I find in this awful place. I shall compose a message to you each day. How I ache for you. My desire to be with you again is a pain greater than any misery inflicted by this prison. Oh, it's just occurred to me. We may not actually have post here. I'm going to check before I write any more.
My motto is, this too shall pass. Means even the bad things end. Imprisonment, torture, fear, despair. Of course, the good stuff will go south as well. But on balance, it kinda works.
This way. If it's not fun, love.
Majesty.
Can never get used to bathing in front of so many people. Why?
Your Majesty.
Why did it have to happen this way?
Milady?
The Big Heist by Chester Phelps. Chapter 1. The Gang. The sun hung high in the sky as...
Greetings, ma'am.
If you get any new prisoners, I could use a roommate. You know, to help with the upkeep and that.
But it seems like we ought to have a word for that.
Everything just stinks.
I'd like to think every man I've met is a little better.
Dear Anna, I am writing this note as a heartfelt apology. I want to tell you how badly I feel about the way things happen between us. This may seem strange, but by a stroke of luck, my cellmate is a licensed therapist, and she recommended I write you this letter of apology as a symbol of my genuine regret and sincere hope we can learn from this. I am very sorry I stabbed you with that sharpened wooden spoon, and I hope you can find it in your heart, which again, I am sorry I punctured, to forgive me. Yours, Rachel.
Why? Why did it have to happen this way?
At your command?
It's just one of those days.
How are you, Your Majesty?
Let's all just mind our P's.
We'll never make supervisor. They bring him in from outside. Why? Typical. Why did it have to happen?
If things on this block don't shape up, we're gonna have work.
I trust you're well, madam. You're good on the old eye. Your Majesty?
My husband. I'll wait for you, love. If he really does.
What month
Hope
is
I'm in
it?
here for bloody ever.
What do you say we go
When
to
you
bed
brought
early?
me here, you brought trouble.
You know
and
it.
plenty of it. Wow! You're like a walking
me down?
museum.
You just wait.
This place is gonna be a slaughter.
To the words.
Those trousers would be perfect for my husband.
Violence doesn't solve anything. I mean, it's useful in suppressing a riot, but that's an extreme case.
You're the gay one.
At your orders, ma'am. Attention!
I hereby swear that should I ever manage to secure release from this accursed place,
Majesty.
I will never again waste a single instant of my life, never take a single moment for granted. If I should leave this place, I shall go directly home, kiss my wife and tell her I love her, and hold my children tightly. Then I will tend to the garden, help old Mrs. Purchase mend her tumble-down fence, and pick up rubbish around the
When
neighborhood.
you brought me here,
I will
you
learn a
brought
foreign
trouble
language and take dance
plenty of
lessons.
Proceed, Your Majesty.
I will travel and have new experiences
Regarding
and
this
learn.
place, whose number
Then
I ain't
I will
got.
assassinate King Logan. Then I'm coming back here, massacring every guard I find and burning this place to the ground. Never a wasted moment.
Milady?
At your orders, ma'am.
You're good on the old eyes, you know that.
Greetings, Your Majesty.
I'll get the last laugh, and I'll be standing over a pile of corpses when I do. My journal. On this scrap of paper, I shall record my thoughts and feelings, so that they're preserved for posterity. Oh, how I hate this prison. Oh, it is so awful. It is so very horrible, I cannot stand it. I can't begin to imagine a worse place exists. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Lunch was decent today.
You won't see me
the
getting
fish
out
was
of line
cooked
again,
just right.
because I'll have gouged your
Oh,
eyes
I
out.
wish I was not here in this dreadful place.
Think you can keep me down? Ha! You just wait.
My lady.
Oh, it's just put me into such a rage in the words.
At your command.
I know you don't care, but I'm just saying. I didn't do it.
If anyone should find this, know that escape is possible. We've made it this far, and so could you. Which I guess you would have if you're reading this. I will leave word further on in the hope it will help fellow escapees. We made it into the boiler room and started in on the wall, working quietly. So far, Roger's plan has worked perfectly. Freedom is near at hand. Made it into the cave system. It's a testament to Roger's brilliance that he had the inspired idea for us to create wax heads, complete with hair stolen from the barber's shop to leave in our bunks to buy us time. It's too bad he's only just had the idea now, and didn't before we left. That must be the guards I hear coming. Ah!
Penologist's Handbook, Volume 2. Health and Hygiene. Anytime human beings live together en masse in cramped quarters, hygiene quickly becomes a pressing concern. The fact is that most prisons prioritize security and order over prisoner comfort, which is all well and good, but in the summer it can be quite intolerable depending on climate. Prisoners should be given the opportunity to bathe and launder their garments regularly. Anything under once every 3 months, and you are just asking for trouble. Penologist's Handbook, Volume 3. Conjugal Visits. Contrary to popular opinion, a conjugal visit is not when a teacher visits the prison and teaches the inmates about verbs. Conjugal visits do not actually involve verbs at all. Well, they do. Actually, they can involve a surprising number, depending on the disposition, creativity, gender, and quantity of prisoners involved. But none bears repeating here. Just use your imagination. But not too often, as this can be harmful.
Hello, ma'am. My lady?
Penologist's Handbook, Volume 4. Health and Safety Facilities. Every prison should have a sterile, well-stocked and fully staffed infirmary. If you do not have a clean and well-maintained infirmary, you could face drastic cuts in funding, or even a reprimand should you be visited by certain representatives of the Bureau of Prisons, who may or may not have particular political leanings or an axe to grind. Trust us on this. An ancillary benefit of having a functioning infirmary is that your prisoners will be healthier.
You know, really, there's not much difference between you and me.
Haven't seen you around before. What's your story? Are you a guard? A bull? A filthy screw? Or worse, a snitch? A narc? A stoolie? Oh, confound it! You've run me right out of jargon! Well, whatever. You're clearly not a prisoner. Not a trustworthy one anyway. Not one I'd share a secret with, if I had one, which I don't. So why don't you move along? You're probably missing a head count somewhere.
Ah, hello. You have several new suits. Those will make dressing easy. Fine choice of shirt.
to break out is now. Everything is ready.
Your collection of suits has grown. There you are, then.
At your service,
Long live
my
the
queen.
Queen!
Hello, your ladyship.
The men on my tier, no.
At your service, my queen.
I'm gonna put you in the ground. Only cowards use magic.
Madam?
Penologist's Handbook, Volume 5. Prison Governance. In the event that a correctional facility's commanding officer is killed or incapacitated, authority for the facility should be transferred to the next highest ranking officer. For example, a captain, lieutenant or second lieutenant. In the absence of an available officer, authority then transfers to the highest ranked enlisted man, in descending order as follows. Staff Sergeant, Sergeant, Corporal, Lance Corporal, Private. Should there be no enlisted men able to fulfill the duties of command, authority hereafter transfers to prison staff, the composition of which may vary between institutions, as follows: surgeon, doctor, nurse, cook, janitor, groundskeeper. If none of these are available, the prisoner likely has larger problems than determining who is in command.
Greetings, Your Majesty.
One day I'm gonna bleeding sick of it all.
Ah, you found the first book. I'm sure it will give me loads of ideas. Great. You found another book. Can't wait to read it. Another book. Great stuff. I'll read this as soon as my shift's over. Fantastic. Another book. I look forward to reading this one. Excellent. That's the last book. With all these at my fingertips, I'll have every answer at my fingertips. I suppose the only person I take orders from now is you, Your Majesty. So, what about it? What's your first order for me? Of course, the most pressing issue is deciding how this facility should be run from now on. You could release all the political prisoners. That's sure to endear you to the public. Or you could just leave things as they are. That's often the simplest choice, and the least paperwork. And of course, you could lock up more innocent people. No one would dare oppose you with the threat of ending up here. Yes, ma'am. I'll inform the men of your decision, Your Majesty.
You're a sight for sore eyes, Your Majesty.
A hero? I'm writing a book about a hero. 2, actually. Who go on a grand adventure and save the world. And along the way learn something about life and love. And that's the tricky bit. The action is thrilling, the banter is punchy, but any scene where they express their feelings for one another falls a bit flat. I've nothing to draw inspiration from. I've asked passing villagers to express themselves to each other one-on-one. Most give me a weird look and hurry away. And the ones who indulge me, frankly, take it further than I'd like. None of it helps. I don't want to see the crude, awkward fumblings of everyday folk. I need the searing intensity and awe-inspiring passion only heroes can achieve. Do you know another hero you could bring here? A real live hero? Someone you cooperate with? You are a mighty hero, but you cannot give me what I need alone. Bring another hero here and express yourself to them one-to-one.
Take a trip! By boat!
Hello, and welcome to Clockwork Island, the community of the future. You do not have to wait until then to experience the future. It could be yours right now. Of course, right now, the moment that you experience this message through your human senses is in fact the future, at least from my relative perspective as I write this. And so, the sentiment is still technically correct. But I have slipped into digressionary mode. The information I wish to impart is that this entire neighborhood is now on the market, and can be yours for a reasonable price. I regret to say I am no longer available to act as a guide, as I have devised a method for disposing of my insufferable counterpart and myself in one efficient stroke. On the next occasion that a thunderstorm passes over this island, I shall seize my associate by the arm and raise my other hand to its maximum extension in order to attract a lightning bolt. I calculate that a direct hit will transmit sufficient surge energy to instantly render us non-functional. In closing, I would only say that I have no regrets, except for switching on my god mode, thus creating the monster I shall soon destroy. Yours sincerely, Huxley.
You must take this. I insist. Really, I do. Hail, mighty sovereign!
Now that you own a second house, you can move your family into it if you like.
At your orders, Mom.
Gosh, I don't know what to say. Hi!
Salutations, mighty queen. Salutations, my most gracious lady.
Hail to
Your
thee,
Majesty.
beloved Majesty!
So good to see you, Your Grace. Your wonderfulness. Your munificence.
Hello. How are you?
At your service, my queen. Your Majesty.
Madam.
At your command.
Well, well, hi dear.
Madam.
Madam.
Ah, Your Majesty.
Greetings,
my
my
Queen.
Greetings,
Your
Ma.
Majesty.